long have you been in Canada, and what brought you to the city?
So it has been around 5 years that I've been in Canada, and the main purpose that I came to Canada was to study and finish my bachelor's.
ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਸੀਰੀਜ਼ ਆ ਇਹਦਾ ਨਾਂ ਨਿਊਕਮਰ ਆ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਨਿਊਕਮਰ ਸਮਝਦੇ ਆ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਆ
आहो मैं समझना ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਮਤਲਬ ਇੱਥੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਲੋਕ ਮਤਲਬ ਇੱਥੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਨਵਾਇਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਹੈਗਾ ਉਹ ਜਿਸ ਇਨਵਾਇਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਤੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਆਇਆ ਸੀ ਉਹ ਤੋਂ ਬੜਾ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਟ ਆ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੜੀ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਸਿਸ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਦੇਖਣਾ ਕਿ ਲੋਕੀ ਕੀ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਪਏ ਨੇ ਔਰ ਮੈਂ ਕੀ ਸੋਚਣਾ ਪਿਆ ਤਾਂ ਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਸਿਸ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਔਰ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਪਤਾ ਚੱਲਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਦਾ ਮੈਂ ਵਾਪਸ ਆਪਣੇ ਘਰ ਮਤਲਬ ਮੇਰੀ ਮਾਈਂਡਸੈਟ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਮੇਰੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਦੀ ਹੈ
What has been your greatest challenge in coming here?
So one of the biggest challenges I feel is getting used to poutine but I would say that regardless of that I would say that there are a lot of challenges basically, right? Basically one of the challenges I would say is differences in mindset, differences in people, the culture by itself. I mean that Canada itself is very diverse, but at the same time we can come across things like racism, and which are part of the community, but it's a lot less in Canada, but it is still part of it. So these things are challenging to see, although I haven't incurred any of these incidents, but these are always a fear that I carry with myself when I'm out in the streets, just to make sure that I am safe here, and everyone else is also part of the safety.
What brought you the greatest joy in your life here?
One of the biggest joys that got me is there are actually two of those that I would like to mention. One is finishing my bachelor's degree, and actually during my school life, making sure that I am able to get an internship, which I was able to, which helped me a lot understand the workspace and get me. It actually allowed me to get myself a foot into the corporate world here in Canada. So it's a big market, and there's a lot of competition. So that was a lot of joy that I that I would say that happened.
What advice would you give yourself on the first week here if you can go back in time?
The first advice that I would like to give is, hmm, don't get stressed, because I understand that you're getting into a new space. It's a new community altogether. It's a new environment, but at the same time you'll be fine. It just takes time to build friends. The best way of coming to a new country is being a student, because you get to a place where you're born to make friends and you're born to make those interactions. So just don't get stressed, and everything's gonna be fine. So that's my advice.
What have been some surprises about your life in Calgary?
uh, there hasn't been I mean, surprises come along, but uh, there hasn't been many surprises in particular that I could remember. Yeah.
Do you think your life is different from recent or past immigrant experiences in Calgary?
Yes, I think so, right? Because there are many people who can come in silos. They come as permanent residents to Canada, which is a lot different from me coming as a student, because I get the leverage of being able to meet new people in an environment which I'm born to make new interactions. And I think that is a stepping stone in Canada. I feel like people who are able to network and get to know the community and get to network with people is a big plus point for yourself.
सुनू कदे लगदा ते नहीं हुन मैं कनाडा छड्ड देना ते मैं दुबई वापस चल जावां।
अजे ते मैं आया ते 5 साल होए ने, ते ਅਜੇ ਤੇ ਲਾਈਕ ਮੈਂ ਯੂਜ਼ਡ ਟੂ ਤਾਂ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਹਾਂ ਇਨਵਾਇਰਮੈਂਟ ਤੋਂ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਮੈਂ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਕਹਾਂਗਾ ਕਿ ਬੜੀ ਜਲਦੀ ਹੈ ਕੁਝ ਕਹਿਣਾ। ਅਜੇ ਤੇ ਯੂ نو ਮੈਂ ਇੱਕ ਮੰਜ਼ਿਲ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਾਂ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਮੇਰੀ ਮੰਜ਼ਿਲ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਜਾਣਾ ਹੈ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਵੀ ਪਾਥ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੈਣਾ ਪਏਗਾ ਉਹ ਮੈਂ ਲਵਾਂਗਾ ਆਪਣੀ ਮੰਜ਼ਿਲ ਤੋਂ, ਮਤਲਬ ਉੱਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚਣਾ ਹੈ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਮੰਜ਼ਿਲ ਤੇ।
ਇਹਨੂੰ ਮੰਜ਼ਿਲ ਕਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਹੁੰਚਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ?
ਮੇਰੀ ਮੰਜ਼ਿਲ ਇਹੀ ਹੋਗੀ ਕਿ ਓਬਵੀਅਸਲੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੇਰੀ ਮਤਲਬ ਜੋ ਮੇਰੇ ਜੇ ਪੇਰੈਂਟਸ ਨੇ, ਵਾਲਿदैन, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇਹੀ ਸਿਖਾਇਆ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਮਤਲਬ ਪੈਸੇ ਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਮੰਜ਼ਿਲ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਬੰਦੇ ਦੀ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਦੂਸਰੀ ਕਲਚਰਲ ਥਿੰਗਸ ਵੀ ਆਉਂਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ, ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਮਤਲਬ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ, ਹੈਵਿੰਗ ਅ ਗੁੱਡ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ, ਯੂ نو ਚੰਗੇ ਚੰਗੀ ਰੂਟੀਨ, ਚੰਗੀ ਆਦਤਾਂ, ਇਹ ਵੀ ਇੱਕ ਲਾਈਫ ਦਾ ਹਿੱਸਾ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ। ਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਮੰਜ਼ਿਲ ਵਿੱਚ ਅੱਛੀ ਜੌਬ, ਅੱਛੀ ਜੌਬ ਤੇ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਮੰਨ ਲਓ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਇੱਕ ਅੱਛਾ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਹੈ, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਖਾਨਦਾਨ ਵਾਲੇ, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਇੱਕ ਬੜਾ ਖਾਨਦਾਨ ਹੈ, ਬੱਚੇ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਅੱਛੇ ਨੇ, ਚੰਗੇ ਨੇ, ਔਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਇੱਕ ਅੱਛੇ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਬਣ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਬਾਈ ਹੈਲਪਿੰਗ ਦ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ। ਸੋ ਲਾਈਕ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਇਸ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਹੁੰਚਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮਦਦ ਵੀ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ, ਖੁਦ ਵੀ ਮਦਦ ਲੈ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ, ਔਰ ਯੂ ਆਰ ਰਾਈਜ਼ਿੰਗ ਐਜ਼ ਅ ਟੀਮ ਬੇਸਿਕਲੀ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਮਤਲਬ ਇੱਕ ਪੂਰਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਟੱਬਰ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਉਹ ਸਾਥ ਉੱਪਰ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਬੇਸਿਕਲੀ।
What was the biggest culture shock you had experienced coming to Canada?
Culture shock. Um, the biggest culture shock, I wouldn't say I did face culture shock because Canada itself is very diverse, right? And there are a lot of different cultures. So I myself is very like I feel I myself is very adapting to people, to new cultures actually. And I would recommend that to everyone to be adaptive to different cultures as well, because you come from a different part of the world, but coming to Canada, you will be exposed to different parts of the world as well. Like, there are Nigerians, there are African people, there are South Asians, there are Europeans. So, like, there are different types of food, there are different types of clothing, different types of, events, like cultural events, religious events. So getting adaptive to these things will will help you not get, like, frustrated or overwhelmed in a situation that you might incur. So I think being adaptive is one of the things that made me out of that culture shock zone.
So you mentioned that you came to Canada in Calgary to get your bachelor's degree at Mount Royal. Why did you choose this university out of any other university in the country?
So basically, I had to choose Calgary because I had my relatives in Canada. So Calgary was the only option. Um, so and in Calgary there were two options, basically University of Calgary and Mount Royal University were the two options that I had. I wanted to go to University of Calgary, but it I was in an environment where I just didn't apply to University of Calgary, given that my elder brother applied and we got to know the IELTS score was a little bit high, and I was like, I just like, I just underestimated myself, being like, oh, I won't be able to get that 7 score that I need, so I just didn't apply. And you know and that's the reason why I just went to Montreal. And and then I had this tendency to transfer, but I just liked Montreal more as the class environments were small enough. It was like 40 students per class. You get to interact with your professors, which helped me a lot, getting a step into the job force. And the program itself was very well established, with which just didn't made me transfer to a bigger university, because in Canada itself, any public university is reputable, and it doesn't really matter where you study from. It's just the kind of experience you get and the skills you acquire, which helps you get a better position. So, like, back home we have this culture where, oh, you had to study from University of Harvard, like, Oxford University, Harvard, University of Alberta is a bigger university than Calgary, then there's always these comparisons that go around. But coming to Canada actually taught me that these things don't matter over here in this culture. It's just like if you are studying, if you finished a degree, everyone's gonna respect you for that.
Did you think it was hard learning in English rather than maybe learning in Punjabi or learning in Urdu because that's what you
So
speak?
I did my schooling all in English, in English level school, so that wasn't hard. I feel like studies back home are a bit more harder than over here. Like my first 2 years of university was just like a ball play game for me. Like just going to university, like study 2 days before the exam and go and like get a good mark. But after the second year, obviously it gets harder because then you're getting into your degree, you're getting specialized courses. But I feel like I didn't face many issues in university, because I did my schooling in A levels, like Cambridge International Examination was the board. So it was pretty hard. The school was pretty hard.
Do you have any regrets about coming to Canada?
um, I think not really, right? Like these are decisions that are made after like deep thinking with your families, that yes, I had to leave leave my comfort zone and come to a different place where I'm out of my comfort zone. But yes, sometimes when like the whole COVID situation happened and you couldn't see your families, I was at a point where I didn't see my family for 4 years. And in that particular time space, during COVID, my grandfather passed away. And those were the times where I was a little bit, you know that gave me a second thought. Oh, like only if I was back there I could have gone and be with my family at that specific sad moment of my life. And I had to deal with it basically alone. So that that was the time where I was thinking about like, why am I here, what am I doing? So the why was that gave me the answer that I'm here for a purpose, and the purpose is to get something and get a better life. So that's the only thing I would say about regrets. There's nothing that makes me think, oh, I'm in depression or something. It's just part of life. It's just a journey, right? Basically, I'm just in a journey. So